Is this thing working? I think it is. Good evening, my friends. I really think that I should. Friday nights, I don't know about. The last few Friday nights, I've literally sat here in this chair watching television, doing nothing, and going, geez, I really think I should be doing something. Anyways, I'm really going to try to get better. So I hope everybody's doing good. I hope that everybody had a good weekend. It is going to be blivin' hot tomorrow. It's supposed to be like 90. I'm going to actually check right now. The last I checked, the last I checked, I think it was supposed to be 96 tomorrow, which probably if we lived in Arizona. Nope, that's not it. Where's the Weather Channel? Here we go. Yeah, if we're living in Arizona, we'd probably say, yeah, 96, it's going to be cool. Yeah, so tomorrow there is officially a heat advisory. Well, now it says 94. But, man, it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. So anyway, I wanted to get some reading in. I apologize for Friday. I will do better. But chapter 7, here we go. Bullets whistle by, exploding in the dirt all around us. Ella and I take cover behind the wreckage of one of the trucks. The bullets seem to be coming from everywhere, from every direction, from every angle. Ella's been hit. The air is so thick with dust from all the commotion, I can't even see her wounds. Excuse me. I gently run my hands over her body until I feel the wet, sticky blood and find a bullet hole in her lower thigh. When I touch it, she cries out in pain. I use the most soothing voice I can muster, given the circumstances. It's going to be okay. Marina can help you. We just need to find her. I pick Ella up and I start carefully moving away from the truck, shielding her with my body. I almost trip over Marina and Creighton, who are huddled behind another piece of debris. Oh, come on. Ella's hurt. We have to get out of here. There are too many of them. If we try to run now... Whoops. They'll kill us. Let's treat Ella first, then fight back, Creighton says. I set Ella down next to Marina, and she's still wearing the dark glasses. I can see her wound clearly now. Her blood is flowing steadily. Marina places her hand on Ella's leg and closes her eyes. Ella inhales sharply, her chest beginning to rise and fall at a rapid pace. It really is amazing to see Marina's legacy in action. Oh. Another explosion sounds nearby, and the blast of dust sweeps over us just as Ella's wound contracts, pushing the bullet out of her flesh. The gash turns from black to red to the color of her pearly white skin. An outline of a small bone shifts just below the surface of her skin, and Ella's body slowly begins to relax. I rest my hand on Marina's shoulder, relieved, and I say, "That was incredible, Marina." Thanks. It was pretty cool, wasn't it? Marina removes her hands from Ella, who slowly props herself onto her elbows. Creighton gives her a hug. A helicopter roars overhead and decimates two trucks with a spray of bullets. A chunk of metal lands close to me. It's a piece of smoldering truck door. The red number 8 just barely visible. The sight of it fills me with anger. Now that Ella is healed, I'm ready to fight back. Now we move on them, I yell at Creighton. Is it the Magadorians? Marina asks, clicking the lock on her chest shut. Creighton looks over the top of the debris heap. Oh, excuse me, we've been hiding behind, and ducks back down to report. It's not the Mogs. But there are a lot of them, and they're coming closer. We can fight here, but it would be better to take it to the mountains. Whoever they are, if they aren't here to attack us, but are battling Commander Sharma, I see no reason to reveal your powers. An explosion behind us pushes another cloud of dirt our way. I watch the helicopter circle back and head straight for us. Marina and I look at each other, and we can tell we're both thinking the same thing. There's no way to honor Creighton's request that we could not use our legacies and do what we need to do. She takes control of the helicopter and reverses its flight path. Its passengers will never understand what happened, but we know it's out of our way. And regardless of who's inside, we know we don't want anyone to be in danger's path unnecessarily. Ella and I cheer with relief, and we watch the spinning blades disappear into the distance, while Creighton watches with a frown. Then Commander Sharma drives behind our cover. "Thank God you're alive," he says. I tempted to say the same thing to him. I tempted to say the same thing to him. I thought he was killed when the first rocket struck. Blood trickles from a large cut on his temple, and his right arm hangs awkwardly at his side. "I'm holding you responsible for this," I say, glaring at him. He shakes his head. "Those are soldiers of the Lord's Resistance Front. They are who we are trying to avoid." "What do they want?" I ask. Commander Sharma scans the horizon before looking me in the eyes. "To kill Vishnu and to destroy all of his friends like you. More are on the way." I move to a crouching stance and carefully peer over the demolished truck. A large brigade of heavily armored vehicles is moving towards us, several helicopters hovering above them. Tiny flashes of light appear from a long line of trucks and jeeps, and second later, I hear bullets zip past us. "Let's go kick some ass," I say. "It's not possible to defeat them here," Commander Sharma says, picking up a machine gun with his good hand. "No more than 20 of my men are still fighting. We must take it to higher ground if we want a chance to survive this." I guess they're all thinking the same thing. "Just let me handle it," I say. "Wait, Six," Creighton says, scooping up Marina's chest. "He's right. The mountains will give us more cover. You can still take out every single one of them. It just won't be as visible, which is good for us. We don't need the Mogs picking up on us right now." Marina puts her hand on my arm. "Creighton is right. We need to be smart. Let's not draw more attention to ourselves than we have to." "The Mogs," Commander Sharma asks, confused. We'll need to be more careful when talking around him." Before anyone can answer, two low-flying helicopters zip in with their guns blazing. Several of the commander's soldiers are mowed down, their weapons blown to useless shards of metal. If we're going to run, it's now or never. I use my telekinesis to pull the tail off one of the helicopters, tipping the nose down. It looks like a rodeo horse trying to buck its rider as the pilot struggles furiously to level out the copter. We watch the pilot give a particularly hard yank on the joystick, and two men bounce right out of the cabin. They weren't very high in the air, so their fall shouldn't injure them much. I look over at our fleet of stalled SUVs and see smoke rising faintly from one of the tailpipes. An engine is still running, I say. "Let's go." Now. Everyone rushes from behind the cover. Commander Sharma. Whoa. I'm so good. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. Commander Sharma yells for his few remaining men to retreat. The brigade is no less than 100 yards away. As we run, I feel a bullet zip through my hair. Another one rips through my forearm. But before I can scream, Marina is right next to me, her icy hands tending to my injury as we run. All but one of the commander's soldiers follows his orders to retreat. The lone soldier follows the commander, running with us. We reach the SUV and get inside, the four of us plus Commander Sharma and the one soldier. Creighton steps on the gas and whips us out onto the road. Bullets tear through the tail end of our truck, shattering the back windshield. But we're unable to maneuver around a small rock formation and evade the relentless gunfire. This is not a road built for speed. It's full of potholes, rocks, and other debris. Creighton struggles to keep us from careening off the shoulder. The SUV is overflowing with guns. I find a shotgun. I crawl into the back, waiting for a target. Marino follows suit, leaving her chest with Ella. Now that I have a moment to gather my thoughts, I'm angry. We thought if number 8 remained in the mountains, we would be safe here, under the radar. Instead, we're being attacked because of him. If we survive this, I'm going to tear 8 a new one. Where are we going? Creighton yells over his shoulder. Just stay on this road, the commander says. I look over my shoulder and I see the Himalayan mountains through the windshield. They are slowly getting closer, their jagged tops growing more menacing. Up ahead, the brown desert ends. And a curving band of green surrounds the base of the mountains. Why do these guys want to kill number 8? I asked Commander Sharma, the barrel of my shotgun bouncing off the frame of the back window. The Lord's Resistance Front does not believe he is Vishnu. They believe we are blasphemous, accepting this mountain boy as a supreme god. They want to kill us in his name. 6, Ella yells. Incoming! She is still wearing the glasses. I look out the back of the window in time to see something fire out of the helicopter. It's a missile of some sort heading straight for us. I use my telekinesis and I send it directly into the desert floor where it explodes. The helicopter fires 2 more missiles. Time to take these dudes out, I yell. Let's do this one together, Marina. She nods, and instead of directing the rockets into the ground this time, we loop them up so they're heading directly back at the copter. We watch grimly as the helicopter explodes into a giant fireball. We never try to kill, but given a choice between killing versus being killed, I will pick us every time. Awesome work, 6, says Ella. Yippee-ki-yay, and that and all that. I replied with a grim smile. Do you think they'll leave us alone now? Asked Marina. I don't think it's going to be that easy, says Commander Sharma. She has all the same type of powers as the boy you call Vishnu, says Creighton, motioning towards me. Will that be enough to dissuade them? Do you think they'd still try to fight him? They would if they could find him, says the commander. How many are there in the Lord's Resistance Front? I asked Commander Sharma. In total, thousands. And they have wealthy donors who support them in any way they need. Hence the helicopters, Creighton says. They have worse than that, the commander adds. The best plan for us is to outrun them, Creighton says to the commander. I'll drive as fast as I can. If we have to fight, we'll fight. But I'd like to avoid it. 5 minutes pass in tense silence. Marina and I monitor the brigade in the distance, and whenever we pass something large enough, we use our telekinesis to drop it in the path behind us. The tall trees that have begun to dot the sides of the road quickly form a thick line of defense. The car dips in an extremely narrow valley before beginning to ascend the mountain. We have just come to the base when Commander Sharma yells at Creighton to stop. I lean forward in my seat and see dozens of small mounds in the dirt. Landmines, I ask? I'm not sure, the commander says, but they weren't there 2 days ago. Is there another route to wherever we're going? Creighton asks. No, this is the only path, commander says. Suddenly, we hear the sound of helicopter blades, but I don't see them yet. They're hidden behind the tall trees, of course. That means they can't see us either. Though it sounds like they aren't far off anymore. We're sitting ducks if we stay here, I say, my mind racing to figure out the next best move. Creighton opens his door and he steps out with a machine gun under his arm. Okay, this is it. He points up at our right. We either go up there and get behind a line of trees and fight, or keep running straight up the mountain. I follow him out. I'm not running. Neither am I, says Marina, standing next to me. Then we fight, says Commander Sharma. He points into the hills. Half of us set up on the left while the other half takes position on the right. I will take these 2 with me, and he indicates to Ella and me. Creighton and I look at each other and nod. Ella turns to Creighton. You okay without me, Papa? Creighton smiles. Marina's legacy will make sure that whatever they do won't last long. I think I'll be okay. I'll keep an eye on him, Ella, Marina adds. Are you sure are you sure we should do this, Commander? The soldier asks. I can go to fetch Vishnu. Bring him back to help. No, Lord Vishnu should stay where he's safe. Creighton turns to Ella. Keep those glasses on. Maybe you can be our eyes up there in the trees. I'm still not sure how they work, but let's hope they'll help now. I hug Marina and I whisper in her ear, be confident in your abilities. I should heal Commander Sharma before you go, she says. No, I whisper. I don't trust him yet, and he's less dangerous to us if he's injured. You sure? For now. Marina nods. Creighton taps her on the arm and beckons her to join him and the young soldier. The three of them scramble up to the left wall of the valley, disappearing behind a boulder. Commander Sharma, Ella, and I move to the right side of the hills, carefully avoiding the bumps on the ground as we move. We find a position behind some massive boulders and settle in to wait for the brigade to arrive. I turn to Commander Sharma. I feel slightly guilty about not letting Marina heal him. But for now, he's set this up as an elaborate trap. How's your arm? I whisper to him. With a grunt, Sharma lies down and he sets the barrel of his gun on a flat rock. He looks up and he winks. I only need the one. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see a helicopter buzz overhead, but it leaves almost immediately. Either Marina took care of it with the pilot, so the pilot can penetrate the thick canopy of the valley. I look through the trees, hoping to manipulate the clouds surrounding the peaks of the mountains, but the afternoon sun has burned them off. With no wind and no clouds, there aren't any elements to control. I can turn invisible if I need to, but I prefer to keep that hidden from the commander for now. What else do you see? Ella asks. A whole lot of nothing, I whisper. Commander, how far away is number 8? You mean Vishnu? Not far, a half day's walk maybe? I'm about to ask him to tell me where exactly. We should know in case something happens to the commander, and we need to move forward without him. But I'm distracted when a rusty pickup truck swings into the narrow valley at full speed with a man standing in the open bed. Even from a distance, I can see he's nervous as well as armed. He jerks his gun from side to side, frantically, trying to be everywhere at once. As soon as our SUV comes into view, the pickup skids to a stop, and the soldier in the back hops out. More vehicles appear and pull up behind the pickup. A soldier drops out of a red van and sets a rocket launcher on his shoulder. I see an opportunity. I nudge the commander with my foot. I'll be right back. I don't give him a chance to argue as I run quickly into the woods. When he can't see me any longer, I use my invisibility legacy to disappear and sprint down into the valley. The soldier has our truck in his crosshairs, but before he can pull the trigger, I rip the rocket launcher off his shoulder and I slam one end into his belly. He topples over and he goes down with a scream. Hearing the commotion, the driver of the truck rushes over with his pistol in hand. I point the rocket launcher at his face. The soldier takes a split second to decide if a free-floating launcher is about to do its thing. Then he turns and he runs away with his arms above his head. I aim it now at the empty, rusty pickup truck, and I pull the trigger. The rocket flies out of my launcher, and a wave of fire explodes under the pickup, blowing it 30 feet into the air. The burning truck lands hard, and it bounces and rolls quickly forward, the momentum sending it into the back of our SUV with a crash. I watch it lurch forward, rolling slowly over the small mounds of the road that stopped us from advancing. The next 30 seconds are filled with ear-splitting rapid detonations as soldiers fire blindly around them and the mounds and in the road explode. Thousands of birds burst out of the trees all around us, their sounds quickly drowned out by the snap, crackle, and pop of munitions doing their thing. I was right. They were landmines. And now our SUV is nothing more than a smoldering pile of metal. Evidently, this was just the opening act. The main attraction, armored vehicles, small tanks, mobile missile units, are closing in on the mountain. There have to be a couple thousand soldiers on foot. 5 or 6 attack helicopters hover overhead. I hear a whirling and turn to see a missile launcher rising and rotating, going into operational mode. The tips of 5 white missiles turn up and towards the area where Marina and Creighton have taken cover. There's movement in the tree line, and the commander's young soldier runs down into the valley. He's unarmed and headed right for the missile launcher. At first, I think he's going to sacrifice him somehow to save my friends, but no one fires at him. He stops when he reaches the launcher, and he starts pointing higher up the side of the mountain to where Creighton and Marina are hiding. The launcher rises another few feet and adjusts its aim. He's a traitor, part of the group trying to kill us. The next thing I know, he is flying into the air, yanked upward by telekinesis. Marina must have realized the same thing, but it might be too late. He's already revealed her location. I look towards the missile launcher and I gather my strength so I can alter the flight of the missiles once they're fired. As I start to focus on it, another launcher whirls to life and aims its missiles directly at me. Though I'm invisible, the Army knows a shoulder rocket was fired from somewhere where I'm standing. I have the power to deal with one of them, but there's no time to run. I have no choice. I have a choice. Save Creighton and Marina or save myself. The launcher pointed at me. The launcher pointed towards the mountain starts firing. The missiles come screaming out, heading straight for the hills. I get control of them and redirect them into the ground, where they explode. Just as the second launcher fires, I turn and see their white tips moving towards me. I don't have time to do anything, but suddenly the missiles loop over and turn back towards the launcher that fired them and the brigade. They barrel into 5 different vehicles, all of which explode. Marina, she saved my life. We are working together just as we were meant to do. And the thought makes me feel more determined than ever before to get this pit stop over with and find 8. I wanted to send a message to the remaining soldiers of the brigade, so I stop using my invisibility legacy and I show myself. I focus, and with all my telekinesis, I start controlling the flames rising from the missiles, where the missiles exploded. I spread the fire down the road to engulf the rest of the brigade. One by one, the flames move down the row of vehicles, and it's like exploding dominoes. Message received. The remaining soldiers of the Lord's Resistance Front begin to retreat. For a second, I'm tempted to indulge a little retribution. But that's cruel and unnecessary and exactly the kind of things that Mogadorians do. I know my fantasies of going medieval on their retreating asses are not going to help us now. That's right, run. Because if you don't, that fire is just waiting to finish the job off. When the last one disappears from view, I turn and I start walking back towards the hills. I need to find my friends. Dun, dun, dun. Chapter 8, New Font. All right. The smoke is thick, but beginning to dissipate. From where I am on the floor, I can see dozens of legs and black boots. I raise my eyes and I see almost as many rifles, all of them aimed at my head. My eyes move from the heavy boots up to the gas masks, relieved to see they belong to humans and not Mogadorians. But what kind of humans have Mogadorian weapons? The gun barrel is pushed into the back of my skull. Normally, I'd use my telekinesis to rip it away and toss it a mile into the mountains. But the pain in my bracelet is too intense for me to be able to focus my energy on that. One of the men says something to me, but I can't concentrate enough to make out what he's saying. I search for a focal point to help me through the pain. I see 9 groaning on the carpet. From where I am, it looks like he's having trouble breathing. It also looks like he can't move his arms and legs. I want to help him, and I struggle to get up, but I'm kicked back down as soon as I start to move. I roll onto my back, and immediately a long cylindrical tube is pressed into my left eye. There are hundreds of lights inside the tube, and I watch them swirl together to become one solid green beam. It's definitely a Mogadorian cannon, the same kind that paralyzed me outside our burning house in Florida. I focus my other eye past the side of the weapon to see a man in a khaki trench coat. He pulls his gas mask to reveal a ring of white hair and a fat, crooked nose that looks like it's been broken more than once. I find myself looking forward, breaking it again. Don't move, he growls at me, or I'll pull the trigger. I glance over at Nine, who seems to be recovering. He's sitting up, looking around, struggling to shake off his dazed expression. The man with the cannon pressed to my face looks over at him. What do you think you're doing, he says. Nine smiles up at him, clear-eyed and calm, trying to decide one of you I'm going to kill first. Shut him up, a woman yells as she enters the house, also carrying a Mag cannon. These two men press their boots against Nine's shoulders and forces him back to the floor. The woman motions at me, and someone takes me by the shoulders and pulls me onto my feet. Another man grabs my wrists and puts me in handcuffs. Son of a bitch, he cries as he touches my bracelet. I may not know what at all the bracelet does, but I like this part of it. Once upright, I get my bearings. There are 10 or 12 men in masks, all holding rifles. The man and woman who are speaking seem like they're in charge. I look for Bernie, but I don't see him. Even so, I can hear him inside my head. Just wait. Let's see what they want and what they know. What do you want with us? I ask the man with the broken nose. He laughs and he looks at the woman. What do we want, Special Agent Walker? For starters, I want to know who your friend is over there, she points, pointing the tube back at Nine. I don't know this kid, Nine says. He blows his hair out of his face and offers a smile. I just stopped by to sell him a vacuum cleaner. The place looked like a dump and I thought he could use it. The man circles over to Nine. Is that what you have in these fancy chests here, vacuum cleaners? He nods to one of the other officers and says, let's have a look at these vacuum cleaners, shall we? Oh, excuse me. I may be interested in one myself. Be my guest, Nine smiles. Nine's smile is menacing. I'm having a sale, 2 for the price of 1. For a split second, Nine and I make eye contact. Then Nine sweeps his eyes over to the wall where a moth is hovering near the ceiling. Bernie Kosar. I'm sure Nine also heard BK's orders to wait there to see what is going on. I wonder if he'll be able to control himself. One of the soldiers slaps a pair of handcuffs on Nine, then quickly sits up again. I can see the handcuffs around his wrists are already broken. He's only holding his hands together to keep up the charade. Nine's just waiting for the right time to attack. I don't know if he ever intended to do as BK asked. I pull my arms apart behind me, quietly and easily breaking my own handcuffs. Whatever is about to happen, I'd better be ready. A bunch of men have surrounded Nine's chest. One of them is slamming the butt of his rifle over and over on the lock, holding it closed. But it doesn't have any effect. He smashes it a few more times anyways, clearly frustrated. How about this? Special Agent Walker pulls out a revolver. She fires at the lock and the bullet ricochets around the room, barely missing another officer's leg. The broken nose man grabs Nine by the back of his neck, pulls him to his feet, then shoves him forward. Nine can't maintain the ruse of the handcuffs and braces his fall, landing on his hands and knees. Realizing Nine's hands are now unrestrained, the man yells over his shoulder, Somebody get me some more handcuffs. We've got a broken pair over here. His chin tucked into his chest, Nine's whole body vibrates with laughter. He pops his legs out and does a push-up. Then he does another one. The officer kicks his right hand from underneath him. But Nine doesn't miss a beat. He does another push-up with just his left hand. The officer kicks at his left hand, but Nine is too fast to let that knock him over. His right hand is down in a flash, and his one-handed push-up shows off his perfect form. 4 officers jump on him, each one holding a leg and an arm. But Nine just keeps on laughing. Suddenly, I find myself joining him. Man, I have to give him props. His bizarre sense of humor is infectious. Special Agent Walker turns to me. I slowly pull my arm out from behind me, the broken handcuffs dangling up from my wrists. I wiggle my fingers and casually place both hands behind my head and start whistling. She narrows her eyes and arranges her face in a most intimidating glare she has. Do you know what happens to kids like you in prison, she asks. They escape, like I did last time. My eyes are wide and innocent. I hear 9 howling with laughter at my performance from under the pile of officers. I have to admit, 9 does bring a weird kind of fun to the proceedings. My smile breaks wide now. Whoops. I know these men are just trying to do their jobs. They think they're keeping their country safe. Right now, though, I hate them. I hate them for slowing us down, and I hate the woman's tough guy act. I hate that they have Mog cannons, but most of all, I hate them for working with Sarah to capture Sam and me last week. I wonder what they promised to get her to turn me in. Did they play on her sympathies, convince her that she would be saving me by leading them to us? Did they say she could come visit me while I paid the price for my so-called mistakes? I look over at Bernie Kosar, but I don't see them off anymore. That's when a fat brown and white cockroach scurries up my leg and burrows into my jeans pocket. 9 will go along with this for a little while longer, BK tells me. But I don't know for how much longer. Find out everything you can quickly. The lead guy claps his hands to get attention of the others. Okay, let's get these guys out of here before our friends show up. Who are your friends, I ask him, though I'm already pretty sure that for some reason the U.S. government and the Mogadorians are working together. That's the only explanation for why they'd be using Mog weapons against us. Who don't you want to show up? Shut up, Special Agent Walker yells. She pulls out a cell phone, dials a number. We're bringing him in, plus another one. She says to the phone, 2 chests. No, but we'll get them open. See you soon. Who was that, I ask, and she ignores me and she puts her phone away. Hey, buddy, I thought you wanted to buy a vacuum, 9 says to me. I really need this sale. My boss is going to kill me if I come home with a full box of Hoovers again. They pull 9 to his feet. He stretches his back and smiles, like a cat smug and full of mouse. It doesn't matter where you take us. There's no prison that can hold us. If you knew who we are, you wouldn't waste time with this crap. Agent Walker laughs. We know who you are. And if you were as smart or as tough as you think we are, we would have never found you in the first place. Officers pick up the chest and they walk out the front door. New handcuffs are slapped over our wrists. They use 3 pairs on 9. You have no idea what we're capable of, 9 says in a sickeningly sweet voice as they lead us through the front yard. If I wanted to, I could kill you all in a matter of seconds. You're damn lucky I'm being a good boy for now. Let's see. Oh boy, this is a long chapter, and it's 9:40. Well, I'll tell you what. I think we're probably call it quits there. 40 minutes of reading. Not bad, not bad. And, we'll chat for a bit, and then we'll pick it up on Tuesday night. So I hope all is well. And again, for the third time, I got to apologize about Friday. My bad. What's been going on? Well, things are kind of crazy, I guess, in the world. And I saw that now coronavirus cases are up over, I think it was 16 million in the world. But that's just like people with cases. But we are the country with the most cases. And still there are states that are really starting to, it's where it's really just hitting, and things are still like, when we were in the school year, we were hanging out, we were reading. And every night I was doing that update, and we had kind of gotten to that point, and then we slowly came down. And it seems like it was such a long time ago that we were up at that big crazy point. And it's amazing that some states, even some countries, haven't even hit it. So I know things in Europe were starting to loosen up a little bit, but now the UK has kind of taken a step back. And now they're mandating everybody wear masks, which I'm kind of surprised that it took them so long to do that. But, we're getting there. We are getting there. I haven't really seen anybody without a mask lately. Being out and about and around, I think that most people are doing a pretty good job with it. I don't really remember the last time. I know that trying to think where I was, where I saw some people. Well, Walmart, I've seen plenty of people there, but for the most part, I think around my area where I am, I think most people are really holding fast with it and doing a good job. So, still haven't heard much about school and what the fall is going to look like. I know there's still that plan was out. Was it a week ago Friday they released the plan? I think so. So, we're going to be back in school with some kind of rotation, but not really 100% sure how that is really going to evenly happen. But, I'm just so glad that, I'm glad to be a teacher, but I can't imagine what all of our administrators are going through right now. It's got to be it's just got to be incredibly nerve-wracking. I mean, you just can't take your mind off it. As a teacher, I have a hard time getting my mind off it. And as as an administrator, it's just got to be nonstop. So we're at about, is it 6.5 weeks? Yeah, I think Thursday, let me look at my calendar. I think Thursday marks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Well, okay, so Wednesday. It's this Wednesday, the 29th, is 6 weeks away from school beginning. So hopefully things will, and again, I think our state is doing pretty good. It's just a lot of surrounding areas, People criticize New York. I wonder what you guys think about it. A lot of people criticize New Yorkers and what was happening in Governor Cuomo, but we seem to be sitting in a pretty good place. So, but anyways, well, I'm just kind of rambling now. I'll see everybody back. We read 2 nice long chapters tonight, but I'll see everybody back on Tuesday. Maybe we can read a bit longer and get jumped ahead. Because I think, well, not that we've fallen behind. We don't have a schedule, but I definitely want to be done with this book before we go back to school. And I know in a few weeks I'm going to be trying to go get away. And I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be able to, but I know I'm going to need to take that week off. So it means we have 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks to get through this book, which I think we can, especially if I start remembering to show up on Friday nights. So, but anyways, my friends, I hope all is well. Be good and, stay out of trouble. Keep running the marathon. And I'll see you guys in a couple nights. Be good.